Hi, this is Amy and welcome to Chair Yoga. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone watching this video to please be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin this or any exercise routine. Let me put my mouse down and we'll get started. So go ahead and secure yourself a comfortable chair that allows you to sit with your feet firmly on the floor without having to lift your heels up. And then move all the way to the back of your chair, relaxing your shoulders and your back against the chair back, bringing your hands to your lap, relaxing your shoulders down, taking a moment and closing your eyes. Begin to take some slow, deep breaths in and out through your nose. And bring your awareness while you're breathing to your belly. As you inhale, begin to notice your belly expanding outward as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, notice your belly collapsing. Having the intention to take full, deep, complete breaths. And full, deep, complete exhales. Deep breath in. Exhale deeply. And continuing for another minute just to breathe in and breathe out fully and completely, letting your mind attach solely to the movement of your breath. On your next exhale, gently lower your chin downward towards your chest, only dropping it as low as you're able to without any pain. You start to notice a little stiffness or tightness on one side of the neck. That's okay, as long as it's just kind of muscle stiffness and it's not a sharp pain. Hold here for just a moment, allowing those muscles just to be lengthened. And opening up your eyes and lifting your head back up to center. All right, let's go ahead and sit away from the back of our chair a little bit. It's really important as we're doing chair yoga that we don't forget about our core. It may be very simple, just the act of sitting, but as long as we're sitting and we're sitting in an engaged position where our core is lifting inward and upward and our back is lengthening as straight as we possibly can, and we keep checking in, making sure there's that engagement. We're going to help strengthen our core, which is going to help add support for the muscles for our low back. So anytime you're engaged in a sitting activity, making sure to take time, check back in, ask yourself, am I pulling in here? And pulling in doesn't mean holding breath, it just means lifting and engaging this muscle section, the rectus abdominis muscles. So as we're sitting here, we're going to lower our chin down to our chest. We're going to roll our right ear towards our right shoulder. Hold there for a moment, feel it stretch right up through here. Roll the chin back down to center. And now roll the head in the opposite direction. Holding the stretch. And lowering the chin back down to center, lifting the head back to a neutral position. Now, a lot of times we tend to hold tension not only in our neck and our shoulders and our hips, but also in our jaw. A lot of people tend to kind of pump and grind those back molars together when they're tense. And so you may want to take a moment just to release that tension. And this is going to look really funny if you ever watch yourself do it in the mirror. You'll see how unusual it looks when I do it. But it really helps kind of release some of that jaw tension. So first I just want you to open your mouth, drop the jaw open, and close it. And now wiggle the jaw, the lower jaw, from side to side. And now, kind of make a kissing face and then relax. So purse your lips and relax. Purse, relax, purse, relax, purse, relax. Good. Now, take just a moment and tighten as many muscles in your face as you can. So you'll make kind of a scowl with your eyebrows. Tighten in, purse your lips, and then relax all of those muscles. All right, let's release the arms down by the side. Squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, and then relax and drop them back down. Squeeze up and release. Squeeze up, release, squeeze, and relax. 2 more. Last one, big breath in. Exhale. Now we're going to roll our shoulders to the front. And then as you roll them back, have the intention to squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other behind your back. Roll the shoulders forward. Then open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind the back. Roll forward and back. Now's a good time to check in. What is your core doing? Is it active as you're moving your shoulders? Last one, exhale. Big deep breath in. And release. Now let's go ahead and we're either going to take our arms straight up, or if you have any shoulder pain, or you've had a recent cardiac surgery and your physician has told you not to keep your arms above your head, you can always modify any overhead reach by bringing the hand simply onto the shoulder. So I'm going to demonstrate modified, but if you'd like to keep it up here, you can. And we're just going to lengthen the spine first and then hinge to the side. Feel that stretch of the side body all the way through here. Come back up to center, release back down. Give me the option to bring the arm up if you'd like, or leave it right here if you're modifying. Hinging to the side. And come back up to center, release the arm back down. Now let's go ahead and turn our awareness to our feet. We're going to lift our heels up and lower them down. Activating the calf muscles, lift up, lower down. Inhale, exhale. Check in on the core again. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now we're going to hold underneath that right leg. If you're sitting towards the very front edge of the chair and you start to feel a little off balance, you can scoot back a little bit. Make sure you've got enough body weight back in the chair. You don't feel like you're going to fall. Hold underneath the thigh, and we're going to make big circles, almost like we're drawing the air with our knees, starting to loosen up around the hips. Then reverse those circles. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg back down, switch to the other leg, circle up and out. And now reverse it. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's go ahead and take our foot forward. Flex the toes up towards the sky so your foot is flexed and the heel is relaxing on the ground. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Keep your spine lengthened. Lead with your heart. Hinging right here from your hips. Stopping when you start to feel resistance in your hamstrings. And then relax your head. If you're looking up, allow yourself to gaze diagonally. We won't look straight down, but just at a diagonal. That way, the cervical spine is in line with the rest of the spine and we're not flexing through the neck. Take some slow, deep breaths. Again, the core is still engaging. Deep breath in, lifting up, slide your foot back in, place the sole of the foot firmly on the ground, take the other heel forward, sit up nice and tall, lengthen the spine, engage the core, lead with your heart. Exhale, come forward, looking for that tension in the hamstrings, and once you find it, hold there and breathe deeply. And hopefully as you're starting to breathe deeply, on the 6th or 7th breath, maybe you start to notice some of that tension starts to fade away a little bit. And inhale, come back up. Come back to center. And we're going to bring our palms facing up and just flex the fingertips towards the ceiling. Hold it there for a moment. And then flex the palms away. Breathe in, fingertips up. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. One last time. And relax the arms back down. Let's go ahead and take our feet nice and wide. Still making sure we've got a bit of our body weight back behind us so we're not too far forward in the chair. And we're going to hinge from our hips. Again, long spine. Bring the chest forward, stretching. You're going to feel a little groin stretch, maybe a little stretch through the hips. Hold here. We want to hold these stretches instead of, I see a lot of times I see people bouncing. We don't want to do that. You think about a teenager when they get braces on their teeth. The dentist or orthodontist doesn't sit there and just wiggle the tooth, wiggle the tooth, wiggle the tooth. They put it in a slight state of tension. Not too much, but just enough. And then they leave it alone and they let the mouth, the teeth, everything adjust slowly over time and allow that movement. That same principle holds true when you're stretching your muscles. If you'll relax, holding the stretch, breathing and just bringing it to a small bit of tension and then allowing yourself to gradually relax into it, your muscles are going to be a lot more cooperative than if you bounce, because bouncing in and out actually kind of prevents that relaxation process. What you're doing is you're relaxing and then engaging, and then relaxing and then engaging. And so you're really shorting yourself that opportunity for a deeper, more meaningful stretch. And now let's breathe in, bring it slowly back up to center. Walk your feet back in front of the body. We're going to do just a little pelvic tilt. I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see. So the hands are going to come onto the lap. We're going to breathe in. Start to lift from your sternum. Notice your hips are going to tip back naturally. Open the shoulders, and then if you'd like, a little chin lift. Not so much that you're gazing at the ceiling, but just enough. More of a throat opening feeling. Holding here for a moment. And then come back to center. And back around to the front. All right. I'm going to do one more kind of hip warm up. And then move into a little bit of standing work with the support of the chair. So let's bring our right toe to the floor in front of us. Slide it out to the side. underneath you, and then join me standing as you're able. If you don't feel comfortable standing, you can continue to stay seated, modifying, maybe just doing some of the upper body work, or if we're doing any kind of lunging or knee bend or something, you can alternate lifting your legs in order to still get that blood flow going to the quadriceps, the great big thigh muscles, and down to the rest of the legs. So just a few things you can do to stay in the chair if you'd like. For the rest of us, we're going to come up beside the chair, taking a moment to space the feet hip-width distance apart. We don't want to have them just crammed side by side. We want to have a little bit of space. We can use the chair, if you'd like, for balance. If you have neuropathy of any type, blood pressure issues to where perhaps your medication can make you dizzy at times, keep a hand on the chair, maybe two, just to make sure you feel stable. From here, we're going to move into some safe chair squats. What I want you to imagine is that this chair is now behind you and you're going to try to take a seat in it. So take a deep breath in, and then as we exhale, stick your rear end, and I'm going to turn sideways, stick your rear end back as if you're sitting in that chair, and notice I'm starting to pull my body weight into my heels. My knees are not going out over my toes. They're staying more in line with my ankles as my hips come back. And then inhale, coming back up. By pulling your body weight backwards through your hips and pulling inward and upward in your core, you're taking that pressure out of the knee and allowing yourself to work these quadricep muscles safely without aggravating and causing injury to the knee. Let's try 4 more. 3, 2, again, check in with that core. Last one. All right. Now let's just kind of walk in place for a moment. Shake everything out. Either standing beside the chair, again using it for support, or behind the chair. I'm going to stay beside so that my body is not obstructed from view. We're going to do a little bit of abduction and adduction of the leg. It's a fancy way of saying to move it away from the body and then back towards the body. We're going to inhale and lifting out to the side. Exhale, lower. Notice I'm not rotating from the hip. I'm just simply lifting. I'm going to find that stopping point where it doesn't want to go any higher, and lower. All right, now let's switch to the other side. One last time. Now we're going to take one of our toes behind us, keep that core actively engaged. We're going to pull the heel up towards the hips, so we're activating the back side of the leg, the hamstrings. Lift and lower. Again, we can test our balance if you'd like. If you feel really secure, you can be right here, or maybe just a fingertip or two on the chair. Also, one thing, if you happen to specifically have neuropathy in your feet, or you're a type 2 diabetic and your feet are starting to become numb, any standing work should be done with a sturdy pair of shoes on. It helps provide you a little bit more stability, and it also helps protect your feet just in case there happens to be something on the floor in the room that you didn't see, so that you don't step on it and have it injure your foot. Switch to the other side, take the other leg back, lift and lower. 4, 3, 2, check in with that core. Last one. All right. Now, maybe feeling a little bit tight right here. We worked our hamstrings, we worked our hips. We actively engage. We want to release a little bit of that tension. So take a nice wide stance. The feet are semi-turned out, so the toes aren't forward and they aren't out to the side. It's a happy halfway in between. Hands can be on the hips or they can be on the chair. Deep breath in. We're going to keep our shoulders centered over our hips, keeping the core engaged and the chest lifted. Exhale, sink down. Inhale up. Now a big stance is really important. If you're like this, you're not going to be able to go very deeply and you're not going to get that big deep stretch because you're going to start to feel pressure on the knees. So it's important. Take a wide stance. Give your body space to sink down and come back up. 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, walk back together. All right, we've been talking a lot about our core today, so I'd like to do several balances. We'll take a little break in between, but just to really activate that core. Most of us don't really enjoy sit-ups too much, so this is another good way to get that core activation. And it's so important, not only because it helps support the muscles of the low back and helps reduce that strain back there, but also it helps in fall prevention, which is very important for anybody, but especially those individuals over 65. So we're going to start standing on one foot, take the toes of the other forward. Imagine your core is a zipper and you've zipped it up. And then peeling your toes off the floor, playing with the chair as you're able. Maybe you don't feel secure enough to let go, but you'd like to maybe bring a fingertip or two and just have a light touch. Maybe you do feel confident and you want to go ahead and engage, and you can still kind of tap the back of the hand against the chair if you feel a little bit wobbly. And always know you can bring your toes right back down if you start to feel like you're falling out of the pose. And now bring it back in. Let's shake the legs out for a moment. Switch to the other side again. Zip the core up. Arms can be out to the side, hand can be on the chair. Flex the toes away when you're ready. Keep the core engaged. Check in and make sure you're breathing. A lot of times when we're holding our balance, we try to hold our breath. So if you notice that you've got your lips or your jaw locked into place, relax and smile for a moment. And relax. Shake it back out. All right. Now we're going to do tree pose or vrikshasana. So the foot's just going to come to the side of the calf. If you'd like, it can come a little bit lower. Maybe keep a toe on the floor and just kind of play with that, lifting that toe on and off as you're able. Activate the core again. Spread your toes wide, either flat on the floor, barefoot, or even inside your shoes. Be here. We can still hold on and use the chair if we need to, and just relax that other hand onto the hip. Release. Shake both legs out again. Switching to the other side. And you still have that option to use the chair as much or as little as you need to. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time sitting, especially right now. We're quarantining still. We find ourselves spending a lot more time sitting down than what we probably should. We want to make sure that we continue to release tension that gets built up from sitting. So we're going to open what are called your iliopsoas muscles. So I'd like you to take one leg forward. The other leg, I'm going to turn sideways so you can kind of see. We're going to take that foot way far back. Notice my heel is off the floor. Both hips are still shining forward. My shoulders are sitting right on top of my hips. And I'm just going to soften my front knee. Notice it doesn't go out over my toes. It stays right in line with my ankle. And I'm dropping that body weight down until I feel some resistance right through here. I'm just going to hold that for a moment. Slow, deep breaths. Nice straight leg back here. We can have a micro bend to the knee. We don't want to hyperextend it, but we do want it to be actively straight so that the length between the iliac crest, that's a really bony protrusion portion of your hip right here, and as it goes down and the muscle attaches down onto this area, we want to lengthen or create more distance, and that's why stepping back helps create more distance for that muscle to have to kind of lengthen across. And now come back to center. Switch to your other side. Again, step the leg generously back. You may have to take a couple little stutter steps in order to get it far enough back. And then soften the front knee a little bit more. Feel that stretch right through here. Notice, see, I've got a little knee bend back there. It's not completely locked into place. It's slightly softened, but I'm still getting a lot of sensation. And breathe in and come back up. All right, now we're going to do a hip stretch. This may be one that may be a little bit challenging to do in a standing position. If we don't want to do it standing, we always have the option of modifying, coming back down to the chair and doing it in a seated position. We also have the option of different leg placement. If you have a chronic knee injury and having your leg up here causes pain in the knee, cross it down lower. Nothing that you do in yoga should inflict pain. A stretch is very different than pain. It's kind of a feeling of resistance. Pain being kind of a sharp stabbing or extremely hot sensation. We want to avoid those. So, if you're crossing down here, or if you're able to cross in here, or having a seat, taking either of those options, flex this foot. We don't want to keep it just kind of like, we want to actively engage it. And then I'm going to turn sideways so you can see, again, we're going to pull those hips back. As we sink down, we're going to soften the standing knee just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. Start to feel that stretch right through our hip. Take some slow, deep breaths. If you're sitting and you've got your leg crossed over your thigh and you're not feeling a whole lot, you can sit up and then hinge forward slightly, feeling that same stretch. And come back up. Switching to the other leg. Crossing over. Again, lower high. Deep breath in, lift up. Pull the hips back. Start to drop the chest. Keep the core engaged. Coming into standing pigeon. Uncross. All right, we want to do one more really nice hamstring stretch. Coming in to a forward fold. Take a deep breath in. If you're seated, you can do one leg at a time, again, like we did at the beginning of the video, with the heel on the ground, hinging forward from the hips. But if you're standing, we're going to turn to face our chair seat. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, hinge from your hips, coming forward, maybe onto the fingertips. Maybe coming a little bit further forward, maybe dropping a little bit. Notice my head is still above heart height. I'm not dropping it all the way down. Feel that nice deep stretch, not just in the hamstrings, but also perhaps a little bit on the lower back. If we've been sitting for a long time, this really helps lengthen those muscles that are on both sides of our spine, the erector spinae. Take some slow, deep breaths. Again, we're going to hold this for a minute. If you have a tendency to get dizzy, make sure that head is not dropping down like this, because that's going to make things worse. Just keep your neck an extension of your spine. Now make sure you're not hyperextending and really locking the knees out hard either. They're straight, but they're not so straight that they're kind of locking into place. Take one more big deep breath. Exhale fully. And now as you inhale, slowly slide your hands back underneath you. Take your time. Come back to level if you've gone past center. Now with the head a little bit above the heart. And then take your time. Come back up. If at any point the room starts to feel spinny, maybe things get sparkly, pause just right where you feel that sensation. Make sure you have a good hold on the chair, and then come up when things return to normal. All right, let's go ahead and have a seat back down in our chair. All right, let's bring the arms out in front of the body. Cross one elbow under the other, and then either bring the hands into a hug, or the back of the hands together, or maybe the lower fingers come into the palm of the upper hand, coming into what's called eagle. Breathing here in eagle. If this feels a little tight, maybe drop the elbows down a little bit. If you're not feeling a lot of sensation, maybe lift the elbows up a little bit more. And now unwind. Switch other side. And roll under. Again, a hug, back to back, or wrap the fingertips into the palm. Adjust your elbow height based on what you need for your stretch. And now slowly unwind. All right, let's come into just a very nice, gentle spinal twist. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, it's really important that you still maintain movement in your upper torso, but that you be mindful not to take any twist too far. You may not have any pain associated with this, but when we start to twist too deeply and we have brittle bones or low calcification in the bones, we can compromise the bones, and we don't want to do that. We just want to put a little bit of that dynamic muscle pressure. That's always good. Anytime you do kind of weight-bearing muscle work, that really helps kind of preserve that bone density. So it is important to keep moving. What we're going to do is cross our right ankle in front of our left. We're going to take our opposite arm across, take the other hand forward, take a deep breath in, start to rotate from your rib cage first. Then let it move up into your shoulders and your head and your neck. Maybe stopping right here at 90 degrees. If you have any spinal concerns at all, maybe if you don't, you'd like to go a little bit deeper. As you do so, make sure that hand starts to come a little bit lower than the shoulder so that the shoulder doesn't creep up back. And we want to keep it relaxed. And just have your gaze go out at the same place that your fingertips are reaching. And slowly unwind, come back around to the front, uncross your feet. Sit up nice and tall, take a deep breath in again. Ribs first, and then let it spiral upward. Gaze out over the fingertips, either stopping at 90 degrees or maybe taking it just a little bit deeper. Slow, deep breaths. Exhale, come back around to the front. Uncross your feet. Sit all the way to the back of your chair for a moment. Just moving into some deep breathing. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes for a moment. Start to bring your awareness up to the very crown of your head. Take a big, deep breath in. Exhale and relax the muscles across the front of the brow. Deep breath in. And now exhale and relax your jaw muscles. Allow your tongue to fall away from the roof of your mouth. Big breath in. Exhale and allow your shoulders and your arms to feel relaxed and heavy. Breathe in. Feel your belly move away from the back of the chair. And then as you exhale, start to feel the center of your back relaxing into the chair more deeply. Breathe in. Start to notice your hips. Maybe even squeeze your glutes for just a moment. And then as you exhale, relax, release any tension. Breathe in. Notice your thighs. Again, if you'd like to move into the tension, you can tighten the thighs for a moment. And then as you exhale, release that tension, relax those muscles. Inhale. Exhale, relax the lower portion of the legs all the way down into the feet, into the arches, into the tips of the toes. Bring your awareness back to your heart and just take the next few minutes to connect your mind with the beating of your heart. Continuing to take full, deep breaths in and out through the nose if you're able. If you prefer to exhale out through the mouth, you can take a big breath in. And then maybe even move into a little sigh as you release the breath from the mouth. Take one more big breath in. This time as we exhale and release the breath, dropping the chin just gently with the breath. Slowly bringing your awareness back to your entire body. Let's take a moment to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Opening your eyes. Lifting your head back up to center. Let's bring our palms together, rub our hands, create a little bit of warmth, then reconnect with the rest of our body, running our hands down the outside of our arms, perhaps a little bit down the lower back, and then across the tops of our thighs, down to our knees. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I invite you to subscribe by following Santosha Yoga of Texas and clicking below this video to subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.